Mum, I've finally made some friends. We're meeting up tonight. They're picking me up in a few minutes, but I'm not really sure where we're going, but they said it'll be a really fun night. I know what you're thinking. I'm a 17-year-old and I talk to a photo frame. Silly, isn't it? It comforts me. It comforts me to know that she's still here. I tell her everything. She was my best friend. And nights like tonight don't come around that often. Actually, they never do. I've never been someone who had many friends, ones that didn't exist in my imagination anyway. And finally, a group of people from school have invited me out with them. How could I say no? Honestly, I didn't really know them, but they seemed okay. Okay enough to want to hang out with someone like me anyway. You're probably thinking, what are you doing? You're getting in a car with people you don't even know. But for me, it was nice. I hadn't been out since my mum passed away last year, and anything sounds better than having to build another puzzle with my dad. When I got in the car, I expected there to be music playing and laughter. But it was silent. No one was talking. No one even said hello. It was strange. I asked where we were going, but there was no answer. All I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat, as if it was trying to escape from my chest. I had no idea where we were going. I just stayed quiet. I just told myself I was being paranoid, and that this was normal. Maybe they were surprising me, or something. I had nothing to lose. We went to this park. I don't even know where it was. We pulled up, and I noticed there was this dark black figure standing in front of the car. Everything was just so mysterious. I wanted to ask what was going on, but I didn't. I should have just got out of the car and walked away, but I didn't.
There are 5, so we're gonna have one each. Is everyone cool with that?
Wait, what do you mean? 5 of what?
You're one of us now. Makes you feel free.
Anyway, aren't you that girl that lost her mum like a year ago?
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's me.
It's called Laughing Gas for a reason. I bet you haven't laughed in ages. Come on, we're going to meet someone.
It was like everything was happening in slow motion. Like the world was giving me a chance to walk away, but I didn't take it. I was scared if I did, they would run after me. She had a point. I hadn't laughed in what felt like forever. I imagined what a world would be like where I didn't have to wake up every day and feel like a piece of me was missing. Or having to put on a brave face every day. And it sounded so good. It was everything I'd wished for.
You first.
And suddenly, the idea that was in my imagination came true. After that night, everything was different. I didn't want to go back to being this depressed girl who sat in her room and spoke to a photo. I wanted to be outside, living my life without any worries holding me back. It was as though I could put on this costume. I could put on this mask to cover up how I felt on the inside. Only, I never wanted to take it off. A huge weight was lifted from my shoulders every time I took it. I was happy. For the first time in a year, I was finally happy. Taking drugs isn't all fun and games. I remember thinking to myself, what am I doing? Truth is, I didn't know. I knew that nitrous oxide made you laugh, and that's all I cared about. I didn't know the dangers or anything. I just focused on the good side, and not the bad. I learnt the hard way. I felt so drained, like someone had just stolen all of my energy. I couldn't concentrate on anything, other than when the next time was that I'd be taking drugs again. But at the same time, I was suffering because of it, and the choices that I was making. I just kept feeling dizzy and I couldn't make it go away. There was one thing that I realised, after everything. I hadn't even told my mum, like I was ashamed about it. So then I thought, if I'm ashamed, why am I still doing it? I know that life will never be the same without her, but at the same time, taking drugs is never going to bring her back. I also haven't told my dad, for the same reasons. I know that he'd be angry. So I lie and say that I'm going out for a walk or whatever I can think of at the time. This is not the person I want to become. So if I don't stop and get help for myself now, my addiction's just going to get worse.
Hiya, is it Grace?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Come in.
I've never been so scared in my life, but I know that coming here, to Essex Young People's Drug and Alcohol Service, is the right thing to do. When I think back to when this all started, I know that if I knew what I know now about nitrous oxide, I would never have taken it. I wouldn't have even considered it. The pain I was trying to cover up was an emotional pain and not physical. That's when I realised I was in deep trouble. I don't know how I could have been so stupid. I just wish I got out of the car and went home when I was there.
Okay, well, like I said to you before, well done for coming to see us. It's a brave step. How long ago was this happened?
A few months ago. I just did it just to get away from all the pain I was feeling when my mum died.
Okay, well, again, probably a very natural reaction to sort of go out and so forth, and everybody does need to let their hair down, particularly or cut loose, when things have gone wrong or there's difficulties. Thing is with nitrous oxide is there's a lot of risks from using it. A lot of people just think it's harmless because so many people do it, but it is still dangerous, as are any other drugs really. Thing is, at the time,
Grace, breathe. It's okay. You're doing the right thing.
In the short term, it might make you feel better. Obviously, if you're out and about with your mates and you're doing stuff, it's feel good at the time. But in the long run, obviously, the emotions that you're trying to push down will come up and feel a lot worse. Is there anything else that interests you that you could get into that could perhaps be a distraction or kind of give you something to focus on?
Yeah, I used to play the guitar and sing. I'll do this and that.
Yeah, is it something you'd like to get back into? It's a good way to meet people. Very positive sort of activity, and it'll be a good way for you to channel things.
Dear Ipdas, I just wanted to say a huge thank you. You've helped me get my life back on track. I don't feel as lost as I did before, which is great. I've been clean for 4 months now, which I think is amazing. I've started to take part in local stage productions, which I'm really excited for, and I'm loving every minute. And it's all thanks to you. All the best, Grace Parker.